Hi, Jesus.
Hello, Jennifer. How you doing?
Wonderful. Nice to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
Hey, Claudia.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, Claudia.
Hello, Sarah, Joe, Bernard,
Hi.
What's up? Who is this?
Annie. How you doing? Claudia.
I'm good, man.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Play some good music today, like you always do.
I'm gonna try, man. I think I'll do I Can See Clearly. That's a good
Oh
sugar
yeah,
pill.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's,
Now the rain is gone.
there
Yeah.
you go. Bam. Yeah, we'll do that.
Hi,
Maybe
Stan.
they, yeah.
Hey, Sam.
Claudia.
And Jane and iPhone.
My phone is
Oh,
carbon.
Sandy, you muted there. We can't hear you.
Is Jane
We
here?
don't see you.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There's Sam.
Hey,
Are you in Philly, Sam?
Sandy?
Yeah,
Cool.
right in Bala Kenwood.
Where's Jane? Jane? Is she here?
She's downstairs in the living room.
Jane is?
I can hear her. She says she doesn't know how to get her. I'm gonna go help her.
Okay.
And Hannah.
Hi, Anna. Anna.
It's Your God Call with Reverend Bill.
Today we're going to create a Venn diagram in our minds. It's those overlapping circles that show which parts have what in common. The Venn diagram we're going to create today is you and divine love. And it's a really easy diagram to draw because you are a circle in the middle of it, and infinite love fills the entire page out to the edges of infinity. Everything that you are is God's divine love, here and now and always. You're on, Bernard.
I'm followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. If I ever lose my hands, lose my plow, lose my land, if I ever lose my hands, I won't have to work no more. If I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south, if I ever lose my mouth, I won't have to talk no more. 'Cause I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. Creeping and hopping on a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. If I ever lose my legs, I won't fall and I won't beg. If I ever lose my legs, I'll be, I won't have to walk no more. If I ever lose my eyes, but my colors all run dry. If I ever lose my eyes, I'll be, I won't have to cry no more. In a take long to find me. I ask for faithful light. Will it take long to find me? And are you gonna stay tonight? I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow. We've been hopping on the moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow.
Thank you, Bernard. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. We've been calling audibles this morning. I'm going to call another one. Bernard, it's possible that original sound has been disabled on your device. So if you could double check that before the next song, that would be awesome. The last Sunday that we met in person was March 8th. And it's getting to the point where some folks are saying it's a little hard to remember what it was like when we haven't got a chance to get together in person. So Dina said, let's make a reminder. So I'm going to play this for you.
Morning.
Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I am one, unafraid to become.
We believe
We believe there's one power, love, intelligence that creates everything,
including each of us.
We each use that same power, love, intelligence
to create our life according to our beliefs.
I stand for peace, let there be love.
Whatever that new experience is, whatever it is that we're intending and desiring, we are opening ourselves, each of us individually and all of us together.
Our new life.
Our new life.
Our new life begins with a new thought.
We are making a new world.
The good old days. And the good old days are on the way as well. We have gone, that actually was the last time we got together was last winter. So the entire spring and summer ends on Tuesday. So we're coming back around the circle again. But we can set the intention for that community to re-establish in person as soon as it's safe to do so. In the meantime, just be delighted that we are able to connect with each other here on Zoom the way that we can. So the Zoom etiquette, we applaud like this. We mostly leave our microphones muted so that we're not going to get into the Zoom cacophony. But I invite you to unmute your own microphone now so we can all repeat together. I open myself to love.
I open myself
to love.
I open myself to joy. Joy.
I open myself to joy.
I invite peace.
I invite
peace.
And I know love is happening right here, right now.
I know love is happening right now.
And so it is.
And
so it is.
And you may now remute your microphones. I am Reverend Bill Marchielli. Our music today is the amazingly talented Bernard Sarkissian from Massachusetts. He's actually not from Massachusetts, he's just in Massachusetts. And our master of ceremonies for today's celebration is Breen Work, RSCP.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Bernard. New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you through our Zoom today, wherever you're going next, we've been waiting for you and welcome. We believe there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Or, as we like to say around here, our new life begins with a new thought. Please take a moment now, and if you've got some devices you're not using to Zoom, go ahead and put them on mute or silent and turn them off so they don't disturb you during the celebration. And we're going to begin our celebration the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer. And not only am I your master of ceremonies today, I'm also the pod, which is our practitioner of the day. So I'll be doing the opening prayer, and then I'll be around for Miracle in a Minute after the celebration. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So just right now, just settle in to this moment and be aware of this moment now. Let go of the activity of getting here, the technology, the connections. Forget about whatever you're going to do next and just be here in this moment. And this moment is everything, and everything is this moment. One power, one presence, one divine activity of spirit. It is God, it is good, it is that force, it is the infinite creative life of the universe. So I know that that life, that force, that energy is present here and now as each one of us individually and collectively. We are all expressions of spirit brought here together to celebrate that oneness. I know this time is divine, this time is blessed, this time is one of joy and celebration. The words, the music, the ideas, the fellowship are all expressions of that one divine spirit. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it, grateful for everyone joining today, grateful for everyone listening wherever they are, bringing their light, letting it shine. With gratitude and love, I claim good for the celebration, good for everyone here, good for everyone everywhere, for it is all good and all God all the time. So I release this word knowing that it is so and it is done. And so it is. Sometimes I come back and I don't know what I said. So because prayer works, that's why we do it. And so this is a time we like to open up to the community to see if anyone has a story about prayer working in your lives. If you'd like to share with us, go ahead and wave, turn yourself on mute, jump up and down, and we'll hear about how prayer is working in your life. I saw Linda waving over there.
Yep.
Hi, Linda.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
So I didn't do this necessarily consciously. I didn't sit down and do a practical prayer, but I've been having this thought mulling through my head for a couple of months that I work a couple of part-time jobs, and one of them, and it makes me go out of the house and deal with nasty people and whatnot. And so I've been trying to figure out what I can do to replace that job. And kind of out of the blue on Thursday, I mean, I know it's not out of the blue, but on Thursday, I got a phone call from a woman who offered me a really great gig. That's another part-time from home. And it's pretty spectacular. So there you go. A great deal. Yeah. Yay.
I like
Yay.
that. B, do you have your hand up or are you just up Zoom applauding? Sarah, did you have something you want to share?
I do. So I work in technology, and I don't know, maybe you guys have a different experience with technology, but I always get the feeling that it kind of just wants to do what it wants when it wants to do it. And if it's not ready, even if you have everything set up perfectly, it's just going to need some extra time. So I was at this woman's house and I was having a little trouble. And then it's like a light bulb went off in my head and I was like, oh yeah, I can pray about this. And so I paced back and forth and I like muttered like a crazy person, my little prayer back and forth in the basement of this woman's house. And as we all know, prayer works. At the exact moment, I was like, okay, and I released it and I know it's going to work right now because so it is. And then right then it was like, bloop, bloop, ready to save the program. So then I had a couple more iterations where I had to do the same process after each change that I made. So I would do a little pacing back and forth, mini prayer, and then boom, it would say, okay, we're ready to go. So that was great. 48 hours go by, the same lady is like, hey, Sarah, I really liked what you did. Could you come back and make one more tweak? So this time I was smart and I got ahead of it and I did my prayer in the car on the way there. And then, of course, no issue, no drama, smooth sailing, direct in. And I don't kid with you guys, okay? The process on my end is exactly the same every time. The only difference is that I aligned with spirit, with the universe, and the unifying thing being like my computer is part of this, the wires connecting it is part of this. Every little piece along the way is helping make the world a better place in this small little way for me and the people around me. And it worked. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. You have that always in your back pocket. And it's just that moment of like taking a deep breath and remembering, and then not feeling weird enough to pace back and forth like a mild crazy person to do your prayer. And then maybe one day I'll lose the pacing, but for now, I'm really grateful. So thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Bill likes to say that the Quakers like to say, pray and move your feet. So, you know, don't count it out. It's prayer in action. So whether it's a new job or your job going great or whatever it happens to be, prayer works. And I see Elizabeth with us today, and that's a prayer work story. So it's great to see you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
I even have a story if we've got a quick time.
Sure.
So back in March, I had put the intention forward that I was going to pay off one of my credit cards completely. And so did make that happen, and I got a job at Lowe's. And this past August, I got laid off from Bed Bath, and I'm able to get a full-time job at Lowe's. So I have health insurance going to be covered, and I'm even getting a pay raise out of it. But it was just interesting looking back how like I didn't have to worry about anything about where my money for my rent or my cars was going to come from, and I'm still going to be able to pay down my credit cards as well. And I did end up doing that in August.
Yay. Beautiful. Thank you. Prayer works. Give it a whirl. All right. What's next? I'm reviewing our script. Prayer announcements. We have announcements.
All right. This pumpkin spiced information can be found on our website at newthoughtphilly.org. The Beyond Limits class is 10 power-packed sessions to introduce the principles and practices of New Thought that will transform your life. Mondays from 7 to 9:30 on Zoom. Tomorrow is the last chance to join. The half-day Practical Prayer for Real Results workshop is on Saturday, October 3rd from 12:30 to 5 p.m. You'll learn the scientifically proven steps of effective affirmative prayer that are common to virtually all the world's religion and spiritual practices. This is the toolbox, the back pocket thing. This is where you learn all of that. I recommend it. It helps. Okay. We do a community check-in and meditation twice a day. They're fun, inspiring, and transformational, and they're less than 15 minutes long. Monday through Friday, they're held at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., Saturday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 6 p.m. They're open to everyone, and you use the same link to get here that you would for the meditation call. Please join our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. The Women's Circle meets this Thursday at 7 p.m. by Zoom. For details, contact Joe or Sandy. Reverend Bill was elected to the board of directors at ANTN, the affiliated New Thought Network. This Thursday at noon, he'll be one of the featured guests on the ANTN Speakers Series. If you'd like to join in, send an email to info@newthoughtphilly.org. Congratulations, that's fun. As a civic reminder, Election Day is coming, and there is still time to register or sign up to vote by mail. Visit votespa.com. We gratefully accept donations and payments via credit card or PayPal. Use the donate button on the website or mail a check to the office in Ardmore. Thank you to the production team and presenters who make our Zoom celebrations work. There is a short technical rehearsal on Saturday afternoon and a final check-in before the celebration on Sunday. If you'd like to join the team, let me know. Reverend Bill and the practitioners are available for healing prayer. Contact them through the website after the celebration. The healing prayer team offers Miracle in a Minute sessions at no charge. Joe will be available for a Zoom breakout after the celebration today. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk amongst ourselves.
And this morning, the part of Joe will be played by Breen.
I mean,
Oh.
Joe may be available if you want to talk to her. You have to check in with her, but I am the practitioner of the day.
Sorry.
No worries.
My typo.
Wow, look at all these bright, shiny faces. This is awesome. So I've got two 24-inch monitors. I love it. So sometimes if you see me looking all over the place, I've got my desktop spread out here, and it's beautiful. So right now is the time we like to welcome new guests. So if there's anybody with us for the first time, if you'd like to say hello, wave, acknowledge, we'll wave back and welcome you. If not, just know that you are welcome and we're glad you're here. Feel free to visit us on the website, sign up for our newsletter, let us know your contact information if you'd like, and we will get in touch with you any way that's comfortable for you, from completely ignoring you to stalking you, whatever works best for you. And we'd like to give a special blessing. So everybody rub your hands together. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for sharing your light with us, and welcome. Yay! So as you saw in the video, there's a point in the celebration when we're in person, we all run around, well, we don't run around, we walk around hugging each other while there's some music playing. So we can't hug, but we can look around and see everybody and send out love and good vibes. And B is going to sing us another wonderful song.
What a day for a daydream, custom made for a daydreaming boy. And I'm lost in a daydream, dreaming about my bundle of joy. You can be sure that if you're feeling right, the daydream will last so long into the night. Tomorrow at breakfast, you better pick up your ears. You may be daydreaming for 1,000 years. Well, I've been having a sweet dream. Been dreaming since I joined New Thought today. And I'm lost in this sweet dream frame. Last way I feel this way. Be sure that if you're feeling right, the daydream will last so long into the night. Tomorrow at breakfast, you better get it right slow, or find a place for being a sleepy bojo. What a day for a daydream.
Oh, thank you, Bernard.
You're welcome.
What a day for a daydream. So as some of you know, I spent a fair portion of my life working in the radio business, various radio stations, from little ones, 1,000 watts at night, 5,000 watts during the daytime, in the middle of New Jersey, to NBC in New York, and all in between. And when I was working in New Brunswick, New Jersey, the guy who did our hosted the morning show there, Jack Ellery, also sometimes did voiceover work. And so he got hired to go to the studio in New York and record a tagline. And what he recorded was, "Bayer works wonders." And he probably did it, a dozen times. "Bayer works wonders. Bayer works wonders." And they used that tagline as their audio signature for all of their advertisements for aspirin and for whatever else that they were selling. So on the soap operas, there was his voice at the end of the soap opera, at the commercial in the soap opera, and primetime television. And the interesting thing about that is that he got paid a royalty every time they used his voice. So a recording session that, other than traveling from New Brunswick to New York for the session, took 15 or 20 minutes. He kept getting checks for like decades for saying, Bayer works wonders. And I use that to personalize the story because I'm going to talk a little bit about aspirin and sugar pills and things like that. And the interesting thing is, what an aspirational claim for the company to stand there and boldly say, Bayer works wonders. That's an affirmation. That's what we would call an affirmation. And I mean, everybody's taken aspirin at some point in their lives, probably. And aspirin is an anti-inflammatory. It's a pain reliever. It reduces fever. It is very helpful if somebody has had a heart attack for keeping them alive after the heart attack, and in small doses for keeping them healthy beyond that. It's a blood thinner. And the thing that you got to wonder about is, how does aspirin know what job it's supposed to be doing every time we take it? Because when we need an anti-inflammatory, we take an aspirin and it's an anti-inflammatory. And when we need a pain reliever, it's a pain reliever, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Aspirin, which is acetyl salicylic acid, was invented by the Bayer Company in 1897. But they didn't really invent it. What they did is they took salicylic acid, which had been useful for a long time for doing all of the same things, and made a compound out of it that was much less upsetting to the digestive system. Salicylic acid can be found in the bark sap of a willow tree. The German scientists in the late 1800s did not figure that out. The salicylic acid from the willow trees had been used for thousands of years. So it was used by the ancient Egyptians. It was used by the ancient Greeks. Hippocrates was talking about that. The Native Americans use it. It's part of Indian and Chinese medicine. So this invention was something that had existed for a long, long time. That was salicylic acid. And they had to do special things to make sure that it wasn't going to upset people's stomachs, because just drinking it was a little too harsh. Oh, and by the way, the same stuff, salicylic acid, it's used in lots and lots of different compounds for skincare. It's a wart remover. It's a callus remover. It treats acne. It treats dandruff. It treats all sorts of different things. It's the same stuff. I mean, I could make the whole talk be about the oneness of aspirin, but I'm not going to, even though, as Jack Ellery reminds us, Bayer works wonders. What I want to talk about instead is it possible that salicylic acid didn't really do anything until people found it and decided that they wanted that, whatever that healing property was, and that it was the intention and the energy and the belief that people brought to it that gave it its power? And the answer is, we don't know. We don't know. We do know that there were civilizations and cultures all over the planet that were simultaneously coming up with the same idea. So one would think, no, it had to be a property that was in the salicylic acid to begin with. But with collective consciousness, it is possible for it to be the other way around. And the most important part here is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because in this universe of wholeness, wherever it came from, we are now in a position where when there is somebody who has a fever or some inflammation or pain or a wart, they can use this stuff and it's going to bring about a change in their lives. The talk today is called Give Me the Sugar Pills. One of the things that I've accomplished since the lockdown began and the world turned a little sideways is that I completed my dissertation for my doctorate of divinity, and which was an accomplishment. Kind of fun that happened. And the dissertation was about proving prayer. And along the way, the notion of placebos came up. So you probably heard about, drug studies, and there's a placebo control. Basically what happens is when there's a new compound, whether it's acetylsalicylic acid or whatever the vaccine is going to be for COVID-19, what they want to do is, first of all, prove that it's safe so that they can give it to people without having it be tremendously dangerous. And then in the big phase 3 trial, they give it to a whole lot of people, but they only give it to a portion of the group. The other portion of the group, they give a placebo, a sugar pill. And there is a huge amount of process that's involved in controlling for the placebo effect, because it is possible to give one person an aspirin and have it reduce their inflammation, and give another person a placebo, a sugar pill, that doesn't have any of the active effects of acetylsalicylic acid. And that the person getting a placebo will get exactly the same result as the person who's getting the active ingredient, or for the COVID-19. The statistic is staggering. It is 30 to 70% of people report effective results from a placebo. 30 to 70%. First of all, it's a huge range. Normally in science, it would be 37.9%, but this is 30% to 70% of people report that the placebo is giving them relief from whatever the issue happened to be. Okay, so what's in the sugar pill? Sugar. Now, if you're giving somebody a sugar pill and they're being in a study to see if it's a good treatment for COVID-19, and 30 to 70% of the people report that it's effective, that's pretty good. But if somebody has a headache, 30 to 70% of them are going to get relief from the headache from the same sugar pill. Cancer treatment, sugar pill, 30 to 70% effective. So why in the world are we not just all taking a sugar pill once a day? And the important part is that we can. We can. Somebody, one of the researchers, considered that it was perhaps unethical to lie to people, to give them a placebo and make them think it was the active ingredient in the trial. So they did a test where they actually told the patients that it was a sugar pill. So they gave some of their patients the active ingredient, and they said, you're getting the active ingredient. And then the other ones, they were giving the placebo as the control group. And they said, you're in the study and we're giving you a placebo. And you'd think that with that belief taken out, that they were getting the active ingredient, that they wouldn't get any result. Still 30 to 70%. People who knew they were getting some sugar pill got the result. I'm sure there could be side effects from sugar pills. If you have too many of them, you put on weight, but maybe they're not good for your teeth, but not a big deal. And nobody ever discusses exactly what kind of sugar is in the sugar pill, because it doesn't matter. It's not the substance in the sugar pill that's doing anything. There's something else that's going on. So the notion that I have is, give me the sugar pill. If it is possible for me to set an intention and a belief to have a greater experience of health and vitality than I've been having before, that's what I want to choose. I want to choose to have an experience of health and comfort and vitality that's as good as I could possibly imagine, that's as good as is possible for somebody of my age and stature and position in life, and 10% better. I want to have that experience of good filling me. And I'm going to take that into my consciousness, into my belief system. I'm going to invite that in. Let that be my sugar pill. And not just something that I'm going to do casually, not something that I'm just going to say, it's really nothing. I put my energy into that. Give me the sugar pill. Let me have all of the benefits that come from 30 to 70% effective. And I'll be on the upper end of that. I'll be 70 and maybe even 75% effective. Why not? And that wasn't a rhetorical question, why not? Can you think of a reason why not? People who don't necessarily have a spiritual practice the way that we do get a 30 to 70% efficacy by taking a sugar pill when they know they're taking a sugar pill. We can do at least that well. We can invite those new experiences into our lives. And oh, by the way, as Elizabeth pointed out, and Linda, and talking about prayer works, it can show up in all the areas of our lives. It doesn't just have to be our health. It can be our finances, our experiences of prosperity. It can be our creativity, what we're doing for our work and the sorts of people who we're working with. It can be in our relationships. Imagine taking a relationship that you're having with somebody, either it's a loved one who you want to have an even deeper connection with, or somebody who you're feeling contentious with, and pour a sugar pill on it, bring some more good into that situation. It works. It works. That's exactly what this teaching is. It's about how to intentionally take that, or bring that transformational energy into our lives. Is it possible that the sugar pill is actually doing anything physiologically? Of course. Of course it's possible. But it's none of our business. It doesn't matter how it's working. The important part for us is that it is working. I've actually been worked with a homeopath, and homeopathic medicine is fascinating. It's not highly regarded these days. What they do with homeopathic medicine is, instead of taking a chemical compound and giving people a dose of the chemical compound, the homeopathy looks at what the symptoms of the illness are, and then takes a compound that normally would bring about those same symptoms and dilutes it way down. And the more diluted it is, the more effective it is in letting the body or the patient respond, so that their body recovers from that. And that can be from, it works for all sorts of things. The key part is that the more it gets diluted, and this is like taking a drop of whatever the active ingredient is. And usually it's something like, that you respond badly to, like poison ivy. So if somebody's got an itch illness, you take the poison ivy and you put a dropper full into a swimming pool. And then you take a dropper full of that and you put it into another swimming pool, and that's the homeopathic. And you give that to somebody and it creates a change. Now, the scientists say that can't possibly work because it's diluted so much that there's not even enough for there to be a molecule that's left over in the homeopathic. They say it can't possibly work. And simultaneously, they're saying that they have to be FDA approved. So I don't know if there's nothing in there why it would need to be FDA approved. But the interesting thing is that it's been proven to work over and over and over again, all over the world. Thousands, millions of people are getting experiences and good results from this. There's obviously something there. And since the scientists can conclude that there's not actually a molecule in there, as far as I'm concerned, it has to be either energetic or intentional. What's the difference between it being energetic or intentional? None of my business. Doesn't make any difference which one it is. If it's working, then we get to work it. In New Thought, we don't need the sugar pill. We don't need the active ingredient. We don't need the homeopathic. When the time comes for that, we certainly take advantage of everything that the body of knowledge that humanity has built up over the last thousands of years. Because aspirin works. I'll take an aspirin, sure. Or an antibiotic, or whatever is going to be appropriate. And while doing so, know that I am perfectly healthy and perfectly safe, and set the intention that I am coming back into that experience of balance and harmony. That's my birthright. And if I'm doing that, do I need to take the aspirin? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to take advantage of all of it. We've got religious science practitioners here with us today, and we know how to do a prayer when something is going sideways for somebody, whether it's the software not loading or the job going sideways or whatever it happens to be. And we're also very practical, pragmatic people. If somebody has arterial bleeding, we will apply the tourniquet first and then do the prayer. Possibly we'll do the prayer while we're putting on the tourniquet. We're also going to call 911 if there's not a 911 type person already who's nearby. So we're going to take all of the steps that are necessary, all of the steps that are appropriate, all of the steps that can be responsible for bringing us into that alignment. We're leading with consciousness. We want to start with the intention and the absolute sure knowing that prayer works wonders. The same way that bear works wonders. And the process for doing a prayer is really simple and it is really subtle. There are 5 to 7 steps in a basic practical prayer. We identify the infinite power of the universe, God, that we're inviting into this, whether it's love or harmony or balance or prosperity or abundance or whatever it is, that aspect and quality of God, we're bringing that to mind. And we're reminding ourselves that because that's all that exists, God is all that exists and it's sharing itself through every part of its creation, then everything that I am is that God presence shared in its own specific way. So that God quality that I'm talking about is part of me right here and now. And with my awareness of that indwelling power and presence, I then claim the good that I'm seeking. I am healthy. I am whole. I am prosperous. I am loving. I am loved. I am creative. I have wonderful relationships. I have fabulous working environment, whatever it happens to be. I claim that from that position of power and strength. And having done so in a way that I find to be believable, I give thanks for it. For the good that I'm inviting that I know is already on its way to me. And I give thanks for the awareness of this creative process. I give thanks for whatever it is I want to give thanks for. And then I let it go. I turn it over to the infinite. Now, I just gave you the recipe for practical prayer in about a minute and a half. We will go into more detail in the Practical Prayer for Real Results workshop, which is on October the 3rd. I'm going to spend an afternoon doing that. And if you've never done that before, it's a transformative way to learn how you can make this stuff work. And if you have done it before, then you're in a different place. This is a different time. This is a different opportunity. Take another whirl around the dance floor with it and find out what new wonders you can bring into your life. This stuff works. This is the very core and heart of what New Thought is about. It's about having a new idea, a new intention, and bringing about a new experience in our lives. And it works in all of the different things that we're doing. So if you need an aspirin, take an aspirin. If you need a miracle, you can have a miracle because you deserve it. So it is. Thank you.
This has a sing-along part. If anybody feels like singing. It's sha-la-la-la-la, bluebird music. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, bluebird songs. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la, you know you can't refuse it. When you hear those birds, you got to sing along. Nobody can hear you, so just sing with me. If I was a bluebird, one day I would fly. Flap my wings, I'd fly so high, I'd vanish in the blue skies. Then I'd become the raindrops that gather in the clouds. I'd rain down bluebird songs upon the people on the ground. People that were feeling blue would all lift up their heads. Make one music raining down on them. They'd start to snap their fingers, tap their feet and dance around. The people that were feeling blue would dance to bluebird sounds. They'd sing sha la 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 bluebird music. Sha la 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 bluebird song. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. You hear those birds, you got to sing along. Before I knew what was happening, the bluebird songs they spread. Everyone across the world heard bluebirds in their heads. All the armies grew distracted, so they all laid down their guns. And the soldiers danced on battlefields to the sound of bluebird song. They sang sha la 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 bluebird music. Sha la 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 bluebird song. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. Hear those birds, you got to sing along. Even on the streets of Kensington, bluebird songs they reigned. To the addicts and the alcoholics who looked out through their pain. Some laid down their bottles, some laid down their guns. All the addicts danced the bluebird song down in Kensington. They sang sha la 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 bluebird music. Sha la 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 bluebird song. Sha la 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 la, you know you can't refuse it. You hear those birds, you got to sing along. Everyone must dance to bluebird song.
Ah, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
You bet, Brain.
So we're going to take a little time for meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable wherever you are. Maybe sit with your back as straight as you can and just relax. I was thinking about what Bill was saying, and he's talking about all the various ways that we can get a result. And that's really what it becomes about, is what's that new experience that we're going to have. And then I was struck too by something B said. He said, go ahead and sing because no one can hear you. And I think about that, like, how would you sing if no one could hear you? And that, the idea of like dance like no one can see you, sing like no one can hear you. And that's about really just opening yourself up and letting go of the worldly concerns and the ego, and just being spirit and being love and being open. And that really is also what Bill was talking about, because that's what creates this experience for us. And so in the meditation, I'm going to invite us to spend some time not thinking about what our intention is, and not thinking about what our song is and what it sounds like if people are listening, but what that experience is when we're in that moment, when we're open, when we're experiencing that beauty and that expression of spirit that we want to experience. How does that feel? And we're going to just settle into that. And it's not the how and the why. It's the what we're feeling as spirit expresses through us. So invite you again just to settle in and relax. And we're going to do some deep breaths. And every time we breathe in, we're going to hold for a minute. We're going to exhale fully. And with each breath, we're just going to allow ourselves to relax even more and even more with every breath. So let's breathe in fully. Hold it for just a moment. Exhale and relax. Breathe in deeply. Hold. Exhale and relax. Once more, breathing in fully. Hold. Exhale and relax. Allow your breathing to return to a nice, even pace, whatever's comfortable for you. Breathing in and breathing out. If you haven't already, feel free to close your eyes or allow them to go to a soft focus. Just feel that relaxation just wash over you. Knowing you're in the presence of the One. It's always one. Within your heart, open to that experience of one. That experience of spirit in your life. Whether it's physical healing, relationships, finances, work, politics, the state of the world. Let go of the condition. Let go of how you think it's going to get where you want it to be, and just be in that moment of spirit when it's fully expressed in whatever area. Just feel that openness. Feel that beauty. Feel that abundance. Feel that perfection of spirit. For in truth, that's all there is. And we're always able to open our hearts to spirit. It doesn't matter if it's Bayer aspirin or a sugar pill. That experience of spirit is always ours. As we go into the silence, just sit with that experience of spirit and open yourself to it. And let it be.
Divine love of God is at hand. That infinite power and presence, that creative force that has created everything is at hand. And that means that each of us is able to touch it with our hand, this hand, the one right on the end of our arm. That divine goodness is at hand, right here and right now and always. What is not obvious necessarily is how we're going to engage with it. Is that hand of God giving us something? Is that hand of God pushing us into something? Is it lifting us up? Is it accepting our participation in activity? I don't know. This creative process that we engage in our lives is a partnership where we get to join with that infinite power and presence to create something new. We do that by setting powerful intentions, by inviting new experiences. We do that by listening, by going into that quiet space and allowing the still small voice. It's either divine guidance or our intuition to suggest that next new perfect step forward. Sometimes the guidance is to stop doing something that we've been doing so we can do something different. Sometimes it's to take things that already exist and create something new out of them. We don't know. We're in a partnership where the inspiration for our action and activity and the activity that we take are combined. We are in a partnership with the infinite. And through this partnership, good and more good and more good flows into our lives. In all areas of our lives. Whatever we're open to, whatever we're attentive to. It's our health and vitality and well-being. It's our loving relationships. It's our finances and our prosperity. Living in a comfortable and balanced way. It's our creative activities, the work that we're doing, the way that we're sharing ourselves in the world. It's our spiritual practice. It's our family and friends and colleagues and clients and fellow citizens. All of these areas can be uplifted into even richer and more joyous and more wonderful experiences. So that's what I'm claiming. In the specific and special way intended by each of us. That good is coming more fully into our lives, and it's happening now. It's already underway. That divine creative law that creates everything only has one answer. It says yes. When an intention is set upon it, it says yes, and it brings that new experience. And so I release this word of intention. Good and more good for each of us, all of us. And I know without any doubt or question or hesitation that infinite creative law is saying yes. So I let it be. I let it go. And I know it's so. So it is. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. Bring some movement back to your fingers and toes. Maybe shrug your shoulders. Allow yourself to come back into the room, back into your body. And as you're comfortable, go ahead and open your eyes. Bernard's going to do another song.
So I had thank you, Bill. I had the great fortune to be around two people who were each other's sugar pills. My mom and dad. I can still remember I was sitting in the den stopped in to visit. It was me, Mom, and Dad. I happened to glance over, caught them holding hands. After 60 years of marriage, I thought, ain't love grand? So I looked into their eyes, saw straight down to their hearts. I saw a young couple standing strong at the very start. Saw my mother struggle through the pains of her first birth, then through 4 more that followed. She gave it all she was worth. So I ask, ain't love beautiful? Ain't love grand? To see these old ones holding hands. Ain't love marvelous? It's something I can't explain. The sound of snow falling or summer's rain. They carried 2 pictures through the world with me. What's up, my smiling young mother? She's holding me. The other one, she's aging. She's leaning on my side. She still has that sweet smile, those twinkling eyes. So I ask, ain't love beautiful? Ain't love grand? Just to see these old ones sitting holding hands. Ain't love marvelous? It's something I can't explain, like the sound of a hawk calling or the autumn rain. When I looked into their faces, I saw wisdom on their brow. I saw worlds pass away, spirit worlds come round. So the beauty and the knowledge given to me. You can have your mansions, corridors of power, stocks and bonds and money, all your ivory towers. They could not hold a candle to what I witnessed there that night. 2 old lovers holding hands, love burning bright. So I ask, ain't love beautiful? Ain't love grand? Just to see these old folks sitting holding hands. I mean, ain't love marvelous? It's something I can't explain, like the sound of snow gently falling or a summer's rain. It's kind of like the sound of snow falling or a summer's rain.
Oh, Bernard, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. Turns out we got a little out of order in our service, and we didn't do our flames or our reading. So as we're going to ad lib and be ever creative and flexible, we're going to do the flames of faith.
Calling another audible.
Hi, everybody. That was beautiful, Bern. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing to the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Bring your mute, Ted.
Yes, I was. Thank you, Carla. Blessed be. And now, once again, slightly out of order, we're going to have the reading that would have teed us up, but it's going to anchor us. So, Kathy.
Unmute, okay. The reading is from Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. And let me just, I had it here just 1 second ago. Okay. It's called The River of Life. Someone has said there is a river of life, clear as crystal, flowing through the body of humanity, uniting every part into one great being in Christ.
Okay.
As being anything solid. It is always fluid. I don't know if I cut out there for a minute. In line with this thought, it is interesting to note that modern physics has theoretically resolved all physical form into lines of energy, and these lines of energy must be directed by some intelligence, or they would never take definite form. Therefore, we say that the river of life forever flowing through us is ever ready and willing to take the form which we give it. It appears that we have the ability, at least temporarily, to pollute this stream of life with the consciousness of hate, despair, or any negative thought which denies its purity. But of course, we do not really have the power to destroy, only to mold and remold. It is fortunate indeed that this is true, for in spite of all our misdirection, we are still being carried forward on the bosom of this infinite stream to a harbor of perfect safety. We may rest in absolute assurance that good will be the final goal of all things. We can hasten the advent of this good by definitely clarifying our thought and by daily meditating upon the invisible source, the wellspring of life within each one of us.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay. So we'll take a minute now and
let's have another song.
Go ahead.
Let's have another song.
Yeah, let's.
We'll do that. I like the last one.
Yeah.
Well, my sugar pills are the people I love, I guess. And this one's for my brother, who taught me everything about the stars. Nights of summer, lying in the backyard on a hillside with my brother, looking skyward, looking skyward. Jim would point out all the stars as they moved on towards the morning. Before I knew it was half past dawn, smiling, stumbling, yawning. I was yawning as I wandered through that summer kitchen dreamily. Sister in the half light, she was smiling at me quizzically. She says, now I see you spent the night with the captain of starlight, the master of butterflies. I remember late July running through the meadow, hide and seek and butterflies running down corn rows, each shimmering, cicadas calling. Fritillaries, monarchs, swallowtails, and midnights. We stood and watched that field turn magic, twilight with fireflies, thousand fireflies. Sometimes I'd soak my head with a garden hose just to cool down. Sister come out the house laughing fit to burst, she'd fall on the ground. Other times I'd hit my knees in quiet concentration. It all comes to me, it's isolation. With the captain, starlight, who's the master of butterflies. later times my mind it often wanders back to those summer fields and the sound of distant summer thunder. Running with the captain. Sometimes I'm just lying there at night, waiting for the dream to come. Take me back to those summer days we were running in the sun. Other nights I'll hit my knees in quiet concentration. Said a prayers, I'll whisper names of butterflies and constellations. Thank you, Captain. Starlight, he's a master of butterflies. He's a master of butterflies. He's a master of butterflies.
Beautiful. Thank you, Bernard. So we sometimes say around here, the posse is the preacher. And so we've planted a lot of seeds or maybe sugar pills. And if anybody has something that's come up for you that you'd like to give voice to, Hannah, please.
Yeah, I had kind of a lot of stuff today. First of all, I was looking through Bill's Practical Prayer for Real Results book and like reading the stuff I needed to for Beyond Limits, but then like flipping through. And kind of the last thing I had come to when I was looking at it last night was about prayer as placebo, and so I've been like turning that around and being like, like I want to ask him more about that. And so that felt kind of like magical that was what today was about, and different things. Yeah, I appreciated the like example of the tourniquet and things like that though, because like there's a limit, because like pray and move your feet, like if you have metastatic cancer or something, like maybe also treat it. And then the other main thing, Bernard's first song, Moon Shadow, is one that my dad used to sing, and I used to like sing him while he would sing and play guitar, and a lot of times with his friend, and I would sing with them sometimes. And I think about my relationship with him recently, and he has Parkinson's, and he's had it for a long time. So it's like progressed and progressed. And I think a lot about that our relationship and his life is so much about that disease. And some of that I think is me putting on him and worrying about him and treating him like somebody with a disability, but a lot is because his life has been about that, because he's been very involved with the Parkinson's group in Tallahassee and all of that. But so trying to figure out like, what things do we have outside of that? And one of the things we have is when we used to sing and play music together, or listening to him and his friend Gary play music together, and that like, in some ways it has to do with Parkinson's because he can't do those things anymore. But at those times, like, I don't know, one of the ways I felt the most connected to him, and I'm like, oh, I have to like email him and tell him about that. So.
Beautiful, thank you. And by the way, you're our poster child for Prayer Works in September, because it's 3 hurricanes that didn't hit New Orleans.
Yeah.
As of the current.
We're getting more rain at the moment than we have from any hurricanes, but it's like chill rain.
Yep, I'm okay with that. Anybody else? Quick share. Jesus.
Thank you, Red, for the opportunity.
I just would like to say thank you, Bernard, for those beautiful songs. Everybody, with that speech you gave about the pill, and I know the bottom line is belief. And I guess I was going through a little dark night of the soul, and I was feeling discomfort in my physical and my mental and all together. And I was looking for a pill, around the house, give me some comfort, not a sugar pill, something with real ingredients. But I couldn't find nothing in the house. So I decided to take, because I know God is in the pill. He's also in the sugar pill. So I decided to turn to a spirit. And as soon as I did that, I felt a relief in everything, in my whole body, in my soul, in my mental approach. And I know that I'm in the world, but I'm not part of the world. When I'm talking about the world, I'm talking about the world of belief, opinions, and superstitious paradigm. And I bump into a lot of people because I got a lot of people that got different beliefs. So they're always trying to put their belief on me, and they figure that something is wrong or whatever. And I could understand that because I was there like 8 years ago. So I could use a little compassion, a little frequency to hold my ground and not get upset and keep moving on. But I appreciate the talk about the pills, and because I went through that experience not so long ago, and as soon I tune in to what I know that could help me, everything just light up, everything came out clear, and I knew I was in the right place and walking in gratitude, even though I had to stay tuned hours and hours, just with that unification, and everything was more clear, and I felt more gratitude. That's why I appreciate the talk about the pill and the sugar pill. But the bottom line, it's all about belief. Whatever you believe, that's what is going to come out. And that you say through the meditation, create that intention. If you had that intention, everything will come out good. So I appreciate that talk that you gave. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, and you're never out of stock on prayer, and you don't need to refill the prescription. Sarah, that's an offering.
Wonderful. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering is on the screen. We can unmute and say it all together. I live
in an abundant universe.
I am one
with the
In one
infinite
with infinite source of all good. I am a
internal conscious prosperity. I enjoy
the richness of love.
I bless
my gift.
That's my gift.
I
share
my gifts
with
with
gratitude and joy.
Joy.
I know that as I give,
I can receive.
And
So it is.
So it is.
B, you got another one for us?
Yeah, yes. I want to thank everyone. There was a few comments on the music. I'm happy to do it. I just love playing with you guys. Playing for you. so everybody, sing as though no one can hear you on this. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I can hear you. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of those bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. Look all around you, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in the way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. All right.
Oh, fun. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am so grateful for everybody's participation and willingness and openness. So let's go ahead and unmute your microphones one more time for truly you grab the hand of the person who's next to you. Repeat after me. I can see clearly now.
I can see clearly now.
I am a bright light of God's love.
I am a bright light of God's love.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
And I let the light shine.
And I let the light shine.
And so it is.
So it is. It is.
Thank you so much for being here. Stick around.
Have lunch on me.
and,
Hey, Bill.
And Karina's practitioner. Yes.
I have one thing to say. Thank you all. But I just want to say I have sunshine and blue skies every day, 365 days a year. And Hannah, please send me some rain.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
We haven't had rain in 90 days. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're due for some.
Yes.